Do. Now am I there? True Greenbeard, thank you. Thank you so much. I've been going for so long. No audio. Man, I appreciate that. Wow. The one day. I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened, but that's the first time that's ever happened. Anyway, I can't get that back. I've just live streamed for like forever. It's kind of funny. I had some good stuff tonight. All right. Well, anyway, we're going to keep going. Why not? So here we go. Next thing on Twitter. I saw this. It says, I'm tickled that some of my followers don't get that housing and autos have led every cycle in and out of recession. It's the leverage, stupid. Cycles dictate Federal Reserve monetary policy. It's pretty simple, people. It says, totally agreed. And specifically in the U.S., the housing industry has a 2 times multiplier effect on GDP growth. And the middle income class grown in net worth has predominantly been tied to home ownership and price appreciation. Any slowdown in housing has a wide ripple. And that's what I'm a little bit surprised. Like, people don't seem to understand that when you like autos and housing, like that's a big part of the economy. I think one of the only other parts of the economy that's that big is like healthcare now, like 6% of the GDP. So, not good. Not good. Let's move on. This was Josh Lehner. If we actually go from 7% mortgages to 5.4% rates and 5, 10, 15 price declines in the next 12 months, sales volumes will revive very quickly. I've often said that if we can be at 5.5%, we can be okay in the housing market. We don't need to be like at super low rates. People have to be employed. If prices do drop, it's interesting they went with 5, 10, 15% price declines in the next 12 months because people are forecasting anywhere between 20%, which I think is probably okay. Some people are going to 50%. I think that's a little crazy, but maybe. Miles Beckler, real estate market is changing fast from greedy to fearful in a month. This is supposed to be a listing in Austin, Texas. It was listed 9/1/2022 for $1.3 million. It's probably taken off the market on before 9/21 and relisted at $850,000. And then probably with a different agent. And just so you know, like for my whole career, it's like for the next 6 months or so, people are going to be like, well, my neighbor got this. Yeah, but that was when rates were at 3%. And they don't care. They'll be like, so? The housing market's hot. It'll take forever people to realize the market's going south, I think. Anyway, price change $700,000 on 10.5. I mean, people were putting numbers on houses that were ridiculous. The weird thing for me was it wasn't necessary. If you just priced the home where you think it would sell, it would still sell for many times over asking. I don't know. I don't know if I did that one twice. Probably not good. Maverick of Wall Street. I'm going to make sure I'm seeing stuff. Whether the little guy keeps his job and lose to inflation or lose his job to a recession, the end result, the little guy loses and fat cats like Sternlicht win in this Fed-induced Ponzi scheme economy. Just come clean and say my portfolio is down 25%. So I want the Fed to stop. Now, this is a kind of a fascinating thing. I think it shows kind of the difference between the way people are seeing things. This is Fortune, and they have a ton of articles that are really good with, how do I put it? They pique your interest. It says, if the Fed continues raising interest rates as it's done 5 times this year, the effects will be so destructive that they will put the entire capitalist system at risk, says the billionaire investor Barry Sternlicht in an interview for Fortune. So the rich guy who loses 30%, he's still rich, right? But the poor guy who's working in an hourly job that loses that job, he's going to say capitalism is broken. It didn't work for me. I lost my job. And this whole system has to go out the door. I don't know, man. That's a tough. Sometimes if you're a billionaire, maybe you should just be quiet. And then you go back to whether the little guy keeps his job and loses to inflation or loses his job to recession, the end result is the little guy loses and fat cats like Sternlicht win in this Fed-induced Ponzi scheme economy. Just come clean and say my portfolio is down 25%. I want the Fed to stop. The Kobeissi Letter, housing market update. Home sales fell an alarming 10.2% in September. Record 22% of listings dropped price in September. It's hard to believe that's a record to me. Number of homes selling above list price down 48%. Number of homes selling above list price down 40%. Well, that's fine. It used to not be a thing. It used to come in like 90% of asking that we'd probably get the property. Mortgage demand lowest since 1997. New listings down 19% this year. The bubble has popped. You know what's weird to me? The new listings thing. There were not many new listings when the market was just awesome. So now, kind of hard to figure out. All right, well, we'll keep going. I thought this was funny. It says the housing bubble disrespecter. It says this, and who knows if this stuff is true, okay? It's like anecdotal. It's like, what's the narrative? How does it fit what you're thinking? It says, Toll Brothers doing a big development here. Their ad for months says starting in the low 900s. They just changed to starting in the low 800s. Also seeing a ton of ads from builders with incentives of $20,000 to $50,000 toward closing costs, buy down rate, et cetera, et cetera. Meanwhile, developers that started their stuff 1 to 2 years ago while things were hot are getting ready to release their lots and new homes by the hundreds into this current market climate. My phone is off the hook, not from buyers or leads, but from all my lender friends. They have turned into car salesmen, blowing up everyone's phone, offering all these crazy ass loans and wanting everyone's business. There are zero buyers out there right now. The rates, inflation, debt, confidence in the current administration, all these messed up puzzle pieces have absolutely halted demand in its tracks. Again, anecdotal, maybe not even true, but not good. Not good if you're a real estate agent. Not good when you're going to list some houses this week. Yeesh. Moving on. It says, I still haven't come across this person. Oh, I wanted to go up this. So is Lance Lambert. He writes for, I think, Fortune. Is anyone else seeing this? This is written. It says, Redfin and Zillow are both removing the history of when properties come on and off the market in several Bay Area markets. Instead of a series of downward price changes, the realtor pulls the listing and the previous list price goes away and relists the property the next day. Then he says, I haven't come across this personally. I still see unsuccessful listings in the market I track on Zillow. And then he says, oh, wait, I track on Realtor.com, not Zillow. And it says, do you see the figures in the price history? And then he replies, the guy that originally wrote the tree. Here's a good example. It shows the history on Zillow many years on and off the market at varied prices. Redfin shows none of this. And then another, lots of history on Zillow. And I just toured it the other day, confirmed not sold, just pulling on and off the market. On Redfin, they remove all the recent listing info. And so what I would say is, if you're an agent, it's not unusual to play games with listing a property, pulling it off the market, putting it back on the market. There's for us, there's the cumulative days on market, and then there's the days on market. You have to go, like, so if you list a property in St. Louis in our multiple listing service, if you pull the listing, you have to wait 30 days before you put it back on the market for it to reset the days on market. It will not reset the cumulative days on market if you pull it off before that 30 days and put it back on. I don't think. Maybe I have that wrong. You can correct me. You can correct me by telling me that my audio is not working and it hasn't been working for over an hour. That was kind of hurtful. I feel bad about that. Is it my biggest bungle on live streaming? No. My biggest bungle was when I was sick and I coughed into my hand and it that was gross. It's up there though. I've had a few times where like the glitches were like the whole stream just shuts down. My whole computer just shuts down. That's not fun. But no, tonight, that's pretty good bungle on my part. I think it's kind of funny. Oddly enough, talking about laughter. So don't be surprised. One of the things that I see in our in our market is somebody will pull something off the market. A seller will decide that their agent didn't do a good enough job on their overpriced listing. And so they'll move to another agent who will list it for even higher in this market. And then it'll go down in price because it just will. I don't know. I do things with listings if they don't sell. I'm not going to tell you my strategies because they're secret. Actually, I told you about my strategies, but it was during the time that my microphone wasn't on. There was no audio. This is Luke Lambert. I don't think I'm going to read it tonight. I'm kind of disgusted and angry at myself for no audio. I just don't have any desire to continue tonight after that ridiculousness. So I'll come back tomorrow night. With that, I'm going to head out. Sorry, I really messed up the audio tonight. So annoyed, so angry. But it's the nature of the live stream and not many viewers or no one telling me. So with that, I don't blame you, by the way, for not telling me. I think it's funny. I don't know if I'm even going to keep this live stream up. Is it really worth it? Because it's probably like 20 minutes versus an hour, and God knows how long I've been streaming. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's my best stream ever, and there's been no audio the whole time. That's tough. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the last quarter of the show because you couldn't the rest. And I'm out. Later.